Okay, welcome to another episode of Canadian Corner, brought to you by your headcaster here, Liddell, and the co-caster here, Silver, or Silver, as he prefers to be called.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
We have a matchup between Roomba Rotations and Team Happy Cloud, or THC for short, in a interesting Division A East matchup here in Season 10 of NGS. Quickly going to go to the map and score breakdown here. So we had Roomba Rotations ban out Alterac Pass and Infernal Shrines, while Team Happy Cloud banned out Hanamura and Towers of Doom. There was some talk about a friendly decided upon ban between the both sides, just honor ruling banning Hanamura, but I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think Happy Cloud wanted to risk it, so they banned it out. And they also won the coin toss, and they went for. Actually, I believe they lost the coin toss. Roomba Rotations went for first pick, and Team Happy Cloud has gone for been given map pick and chosen Battlefield of Eternity.
So, what do you think is with the hate for Hanamura? It seems a lot of teams
because it is well placed hate, and anyone who voted for that map in the off-season voting election for the new map should be kicked out of NGS, and that's what I truly believe.
I mean, based on statistics, that probably is at least over a third of the people in NGS.
Yeah, well, it is a small community, but I think it should become a bit smaller, honestly, with the judgments that they made, because not only is it not fun to lose on, and snowbally as hell, it is also not fun to cast. So it's like a double loss when you're dealing with a league play here.
There's definitely a lot of dead time on that map, and they often go very long too. So you're looking at 10 minutes of just posturing and standing around.
Quickly, also just going to go to the standings before we get into the match here, as it looks like we're about to go in. We can see the close race that is Division A East with with only 4 points separating first and ninth place. So really, this has a lot of implications for seeding, but also one team of these top 9 is not going to make playoffs, and it could really be anyone from Roomba Rotations down to Beef Boys. Quite honestly, one of those teams being the odd one out.
Yeah, although right now Beef Boys does have 8 games played with those 12 points, while Roomba has 7 with the 14. So in the scope of this, it actually is looking favorable towards Roomba, but it is still extremely close. And I think they're starting the game, so we should probably switch over to that.
Yeah. We have our first ban being Garrosh. Common occurrence, wouldn't you say, Silver?
Oh yeah, for sure. As someone who plays a lot of Garrosh, right now, tanks, there's not a lot of super meta tanks, and especially not a lot of first pick tanks. We are seeing Diablo frequently. We are seeing Garrosh frequently. Murden's starting to make a little bit of a sneaky comeback, and ETC, ever since the nerf, has kind of fallen out of the good graces of NGS. So, we're kind of getting to the world where you can start banning Mei or Garrosh and Diablo, and all the meta picks are kind of evaporate at that point.
Yeah, we also see an Imperius ban out. I think that's more of a target ban because Roomba Rotations loves to pick some main tank Imperius. And Gazlo getting banned, that's obvious. He's just overtuned at this point.
Yeah, we're all expecting the nerf in a few weeks' time. Chromie also very frequently banned. She is extremely powerful to some people at the moment. She has a lot of skill shots and a lot of poke. And a lot of immortal damage too. So I'm interested to see what the first pickup is for Roomba Rotations. Wait till the last second.
It is Anna, which is a common healer. It's highly contested at high levels of play, which I would say A is considered.
I don't know if I'm crazy about the first pick Anna though. Like, although she is a strong healer, she does have some glaring weaknesses. I wonder if they are worried about the Anna being contested by a healer on Team Happy Cloud. Maybe it's a denial pick too.
Alright, let's see, I'm first time trying to run the lower tick here, so let's see if that works. But in the meantime, we have a Li Ming and Diablo pick coming from Team Happy Cloud.
Li Ming opted choosing her because the objective is not surrounded by little minions, allowing her to get the full damage off, as well as she has very good burn, a highly relevant thing on this map, as whoever burns the Mortal faster typically has a lot more map control. Diablo, as mentioned before, is one of the few meta tanks that are still around unpicked. I wouldn't be surprised if a Mei is picked on Roomba rotations, but instead they're opting for the Irel and the Raynor.
Raynor, obviously a very common pick at any level, any map, because of the macro it's not Executioner, it's Exterminator offers at level 1, which increases his damage to non-structure, non-hero targets.
And Irel, I think it's a common pick by Roomba rotations. I think it's more of a comfort pick. We've seen her often picked in Division A2. She provides a lot more utility, as ETC is now banned. I really think there's not going to be a lot of meta tanks left for Roomba rotations. I'm interested to see what they pick.
Yeah, they have gone for off-meta tank choices, including bruiser tanks in the past. So really, maybe they feel like they're fine and they're not too worried. Meanwhile, I also think Urel is a bit of a steal from the side of Team Happy Cloud, who I think likes to pick Urel a lot.
I think both teams like Urel, if I recall, but we do see a Chen being picked up for Team Happy Cloud. We'll wait for their last pick there, which is a Stukov. So both healers are now chosen. Liddell, what do you think of those two?
I like the Stukov. Obviously, they're going for a bit of a pick comp with the Diablo wall charge and then the Ming blow up. So obviously, Stukov just adds to any pick comp because he has massive slows with his W and silences the dive target, allowing them to not, or preventing them from using any mobility abilities that they may have.
Yep, and we do see Tychus and Murden being picked up for the side of rotation, completing their roster. Tychus a common counter to Diablo these days, ever since his talent rework, quotations around that rework, and Murden not a lot of peels on him, but a lot of health and some decent stuns.
Yeah, I worry about the peels, about Roomba rotations, but they've never been a team to really peel much. They are more focused on aggression and picks, but that's not really how their team is constructed other than the Murden, I would argue.
And yeah, although I do like the Tychus Raynor motif as the backline, but that is a lot of AA, with Cassia being the last pick on the side of Team Happy Cloud. That will add a blind, which might stop almost all their damage for a few seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely doesn't look like a typical Roomba rotations team from what I've seen, but also Battlefield of Eternity forces you to not necessarily pick your comfort picks because the objective is so based around burn, and the objective is so important because it's a 2-lane map that you kind of need to cater your team to that strategy. And with that said, I think Roomba rotations has a way better burn team right now.
Really? Because I like Team Happy Clouds with the Cassie and the Ming. Although I don't think they have win burn early game. I think they might win burn later in the game. I don't think Tychus's damage is mostly max HP, which is not affected by the Immortal. But I guess I might be underestimating Exterminator's power, as that 50% damage does so much.
I think you can't really underestimate Exterminator's power. One sec.
Yeah, and Li Ming's burn is also highly dependent on the build she chooses.
Right.
So if she goes Q build,
you're saying you favor Team Happy Cloud right now?
I like their draft more as well. I think they're built to be rushing into Roomba either way. They have a lot of more melee characters. It feels like they're very cohesive with the pushing in. Where I don't really see Roomba rotations team fight as clearly, and that could be wrong. They usually have very clean and good team fights that are coordinated. So I'm interested to see how they play it out.
We also created an awful caster faux pas, and we did not announce the players. So I'm going to be starting with Team Happy Cloud on the right side of your screen. It is Fade on the Diablo, OJ Juice on the Cassia, Galaxy Quest on the Ming, Delta on the Stukov. I'm not even going to try if they have a put to that name. And Brett Michaels top on the Chen.
And starting top for Roomba rotations, we have MJ Doom diving in as Urel. We have the Lazy Hydra on Tychus, Idiom's playing Muradin, Iron on the Ana, and Hiva, I think it is, on the Raynor. Might be Hiva, I don't know. We do see some casual trades going on bot lane, nothing too crazy. Any level 1 talents catch your eyes there?
Well, thank you for reminding me to show them. We have Q build from Cassia. Don't have any other comment other than that because haven't played Rework Cassia at all. Exterminator as we expected. Q build coming out from Murden, so he's going a bit more damage than sustain, which is probably the right move because I don't think he's going to be the main target.
I also see Q coming out most times on Murden. I think that is actually the standard build.
Yeah, I mean you have the sustain option at 1 with the extra
healing or the
extra
block.
Healing from your second. I forget what the trait's called.
It's from from your passive.
From your passive. We do see Reyna sneaking top for the camp. This is a play you see often with whoever has the best camp burn.
It is seen, so they are taking bot in return. I think this will just be a camp for camp trade, but that typically favors the side with top, as there's only one person to clear top side, while there is 3 people to clear
it gives
top.
a huge advantage to the solo laner, where it's minuscule advantage to a 4v4 because the 4 people can clear the camp much easier.
Although that might be mitigated a little bit because bottom lane has such a kill potential with the Diablo Cassia and Li Ming and Stukov. So they might actually be able to force this, but they are actually themselves getting pushed back as the wave was cleared while they were taking that camp.
We see Reyna breaking off for his bruiser camp here.
We do see Diablo going top for a gank on the URL. It might be also just to alleviate some pressure to help clear that camp, which looks like it actually is.
Yeah, the dunk is really useful, and then also the charge there, so allowing the towers to clear it for them. We also have... I think Urel is a lot weaker before 10 because I would say half the reason for picking Urel is the fact that her level 10 gives her a full absorb and heal off of damage taken, which makes her almost ungankable while she has that up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a huge asset when you're the solo laner and you're ungankable, I think, while also offering decent wave clear, decent damage, and decent CC all at the same time.
We do see Urel and Chen both top lane as both teams decide just to whack the Immortal as much as they can. Chen going to the little stall a little, but he doesn't really have much CC to actually stop that, as we do see Red Team having the faster burn, although they did also have 5 people there for a little longer. But both teams kind of juking off to kill each other's camp before returning for the burn. It does look like Team Happy Cloud is still willing to race, even though they lost and are coming late to the objective. It seems like they're happy just to let this first one go.
Yeah, and I see this. I think this is often the smarter move, even when you have worse burn, than trying to defend this first objective, because death timers are so short that you might end up you might get some kills, but you're gonna still get a ton, like a full health Immortal. Like, it's not worth it, really.
So you like how they kind of traded, but they are ended up fighting anyways, even as the Immortal goes. If they lose this fight, that'll be very dangerous for them, but MJ Doom getting caught out a little, but he's going to walk all the way.
Yeah, I like that. I like the call if you're ready top to defend it, which they are not, and it's getting some free damage.
Murden doing things as Murden does, which is just stalling, dehorsing, and pushing them further back. This Immortal typically only gets first wall. It's a nice trade, but this thing's going to get a little bit of keep damage.
Let me also look quickly bottom lane. So that camp did almost get the entire wall bottom, and it's got about half the THC's camp got about half the wall top.
Yeah, and if you look top, like the Immortal almost took top fort, so this is actually a fairly bad first Immortal for THC. Of course, it's not game over, as the fort is still alive, and anything can happen to heroes, but it is not looking good.
Yeah,
I really
I was praising the decision to just trade and not risk feeding XP or getting an extended fight, but then by picking or allowing themselves to be in that fight mid there, is how that top Immortal got so much value.
I think it's especially because they decided to go in on Urel, who you just mentioned is she's not level 10, so she's still gankable, but with her team so close and Urel having so much health and jumping and pushing away, I didn't expect that to last very long. We do see Murden queuing the fort in a attempt to slowly lower it to death. I don't think that fort is going to last very long.
We also see, I'm surprised how much THC is actually focusing Murden in these fights, considering he's the toughest target on the other team by a wide margin.
I mean, I don't think Roomba rotation is really giving them that much of an opportunity, though. Raynor and Tychus have been staying pretty much in the back.
Yeah.
So I think they're just kind of attacking whoever they can get their heads on. We do see Murden coming down, so there will be a 5-man bot lane as top camp pushes, and with the fort gone, that will start catapults, so they'll have to be coming up to defend this lane a little more often, which will hurt more so when the Immortal is coming, and they're trying to do a longer fight there.
we do see that indecisiveness of THC not really knowing where they want to be, allowing Roomba rotations to get the full bottom towers and wall.
And
go ahead.
I think Battlefield of Eternity is actually deceptively snowbally sometimes, where I know this is still early game, THC's only lost one fort, but I'm a little worried. I think they have to turn it around a little if they want to get in. And maybe catching out idioms is what they have to do, but he has his jump, he's going to get out. Diablo is now sleeping and stunned. That's going to allow Roomba rotation to actually take almost half of this, the first half of the Immortal, uncontested almost. I guess, well, it was contested, but unpunished.
Yeah, THC, they seem kind of they're taking a lot of hesitations before fights, and they're kind of getting too distracted by this Murden right now.
Yeah, although Chen was not there, so maybe they were trying just to whittle down the Immortal, get some free damage on him. But it does look they, once again, are trying to engage on the Murden. He's going to get just fine. Diablo is at half health, but Murden's trying to heal really fast. We do have Stukov with the Living Pulse on the Diablo. As he finds the Uriel, he is going to get a stun combo on him, and Uriel's just going to jump away.
Yeah, unfortunately the silence was not in the place they wanted it there, which allowed Uriel to jump out.
Yeah. We do see the camp going into the side of Roomba rotation, so while the fight was going and Uriel and Murden were distracting, the camp was taken. It does seem like, once again, Diablo grabbing MJ Doom, trying to spin him. This time MJ Doom is getting extremely low. He does go down. Now is going to be a kill for the side of THC. That is first blood of the game. So finally that combo paying off.
That's a good kill, but in the meantime, Roomba's able to get some map pressure with the camp, and they are still winning the race by a wide margin. Although Ming is doing a pretty good job at whittling it down top.
But there is still 4 people bot. It's a 4v3, so Team Happy Cloud can't really zone this properly, as Chen has to go bottom to clear that camp that was taken during the fight. So Diablo is going to try and charge the Immortal, but Tyke is doing a lot of damage to him. He's going to health is going to get out fairly fast. His Immortal getting extremely low. I don't see Team Happy Cloud saving this. Although
you see level 10s picked up a little bit early though.
Yeah, Valkyrie coming is going to be enough just to get the kill on Hiva. I might have spoke too soon, as also Tychus goes down. That's going to be no more DPS for the side of rotation, but as Murden falls his last breath, he does get the last hit on that Immortal. So that's going to be 3 for an Immortal, or 4 for Immortal. Sorry, I didn't see the Ana go down.
So Team Happy Cloud, we saw the level 10s turn on, and that turned on their ability to secure kills like crazy. They managed to get level 10 too, despite losing the fort, their top fort first, and Chen taking a while to pick up or to take down the camp there.
But with the 2 camps, this camp returning objective and last camp returning objective, both the wall and the fort is gone, and the fort is at half health. So I think this Immortal might be enough just to take this bottom fort, which is kind of all Roomba needs. I think 3 for a fort on this map is a definitely worthwhile trade.
So you're saying worth for Roomba at this point?
I think that's worth for Roomba at this point, yes.
Yeah, I would say it didn't have to come to that.
No,
but
I think it would have been a little cleaner for sure.
But yeah, I would still say that was advantage overall based on the events that went down there for Roomba rotations.
So, do you want to read out the ultimates by any chance?
Oh wow, thanks Silva. We did see the Valkyrie in that fight, which is going to try and close the distance on the backliners. We see the little boys for Chen. I refuse to say it any differently. Which is basically the standard ult, and that it allows him to survive and pump out a ton of damage while diving. APOC typical pushy or shovey from
yes, shovey. There you go.
From Stukov, and Wave of Force, which is interesting because that I don't know much about Ming, so I'll not want to talk. But I kind of like the overall for providing immortal damage and just burn in general on first targets.
I have seen some Mings go Wave of Force and then at level 20 get the level 20 that lets you do that permanently if they're not feeling very threatened. But we do see Reset City coming out as Ming getting a lot of kills. So, both Tychus and Raider goes down as now Ana falls. Murden in a dangerous spot. He's going to get pushed by the Diablo as Murden tried to jump out, but Ming and everyone else is on his case. Oh, is he going to get out? Idioms does manage to live with just barely any health. I think it's mostly because Ming was out of mana, and so was everybody else. But that is basically going to be a free 3 kills, so that's going to give them some much-needed map presence and map advantage.
And now a substantial lead, a level and a bit, which also gives them a talent advantage with 13.
And now they actually get top lane, which is a really big deal because, as you notice, the fact that both forts are gone in both lanes means these waves are pushing up a little too consistently. So having that camp go top lane to make sure that pushes will be a big deal for Team Happy Cloud.
Yeah, I know we were talking about ults, but why was Roomba rotations there? Is my question.
Why was Roomba rotation?
Where that fight broke out and 3 of their members died. It seems like it was an unnecessary aggression from them.
They took top camp, but I think we're trying to posture around that or save some damage there. I didn't really catch it too much. We were talking about ultimates, but I think there's definitely they did not need to be there. They didn't take that fight. I think they just underestimated how much Team Happy Cloud is there. But Chen is going in the backline with his 3 goons. Li Ming is behind him to do a lot of damage, and they're mostly distracting as Murden is pushed far away by the massive shove. He's going to be deep, but they are fighting under Blue Immortal as now that Chen's ultimate is starting to run out, and Urel is forced to pop hers. This fight is looking a little hairy for Team Happy Cloud, but they do manage to pick up the Raynor, 3 Cassia bot, but I think it'll cost them Diablo as Immortal does a little bit of a spin, pushing Stukov and Cassia away. Meanwhile, Chen is distracting the healer and DPS for Team Happy Cloud, allowing them to finish off the Ana and the Muradin. So that is going to be a clean, actually a fairly clean team fight for Team Happy Cloud. I think Diablo did die, but he has souls to revive.
12 for 1 is the kills right now.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a clear team fight dominance from Team Happy Cloud right now. What's going so right for them in these fights, and what's going so wrong for Roomba in the most recent team fights, do you think?
In my opinion, I think it's for what I was mentioning at the beginning, where if you look at Team Happy Cloud's comp, they really want to be in the face of Roomba rotations and just pushing into them. And I think that's really good against Roomba rotations because Ana really struggles with that. Now, on top of that, they don't have a lot of peels. Like, Murden has the stun, the slow, Urel has the push. Compared to other tanks like Mei, for example, or like Garrosh, or even, like, there's just not a lot of CC to kind of drag them away and stop them. And, you know, Chen loves that. Tychus, to be fair, and Urel and Murden don't mind them getting close, but Raynor and Ana really do struggle. And if you don't have heal, oh, that was a great combo. He's gonna die, right?
Yeah, that oof was,
yeah.
Whenever Valkyrie goes out from now on in the rest of this game, it's just going to be oof, no matter what happens.
Big oof.
Although Fade is taking a lot of damage and falls to Talus.
I don't think he had to die there. A little overextended, but so is Idioms, but he is burdened. He's just going to jump out. Massive shove coming on the rail. That's going to stop her jump from activating, but she still has a push. She's going to give a little whack and walk out. Chen jumping on the Murden. He's actually fairly low health. I think his jump's still a Kudo. Nope, I'm wrong. He jumps out just fine. But this Immortal doing a lot of damage. It did take the bottom fort and is now doing quite a bit of damage to the wall. Not going to quite enough to do that.
It is a 5v4 now, though, as Tychus is back up alive and Diablo is still dead.
Stukov in a little bit of trouble, so is Chen. I think Chen's going back just to kind of distract the team, hoping he could get out.
I think Chen's sacrificing himself, but Stukov dies anyways. And that's an overextension that you just do not want to see if you're Team Happy Cloud. You finally got an advantage back in this game. You took a structure. You looked to be on the front foot. You won like 4 fights in a row. And one simple overextension is going to bring back some XP deficit here for Roomba and really give them a commanding control of the map for the next minute or so.
I mean, 40 seconds ago it was 12 kills to 1, and now it's 3 to 13. So that is not super great for Roomba, for Team Happy Cloud. But it is good for Roomba as they're seeing the advantage. 10 seconds on Chen and Stukov still. They're going to try and push at least the well. They might go a little deeper for the keep. I don't think it's wise to do that. But no, I think they're just clearing in. Pushing as Stukov is now up, and so is Chen.
Well, this is classic Roomba rotations, that what we know from them is whenever they have an advantage, they want to milk every last ounce of it. And they're going to do that by pushing up on keeps, putting themselves in risky situations, but that's how they've gotten a lot of the steamroll victories that we see. By basically keep pushing the advantage.
Pathing poorly. Oh, that was very close. Diablo's managed to combo him. But the Valkyrie does, he barely clips. Tychus is getting a little bit lucky here, as the Legendary Hydra using his Q just to kind of work the last bit away, as he is going to survive and able to heal him. But now Raynor is in the bad position. He's going to go down. Idiom's getting a little bit of trouble now in the middle of a lot, as he uses his jump to go in further. I don't know if that was wise, as there is 5 members here and only 3 for Roomba rotations. But as Chen uses ult to escape death, that's going to be a dead Ana. Oh, Urel going back in with a little bit of a push, using her ult to escape. But a lot of messy fights coming out of Roomba rotations, I'm finding. I don't know if you've been seeing that too, Lido.
I just think they're very weak to dive, and basically they need to play in a way. That's why I felt like it was a bit aggressive to go bottom keep. I know they got away with it and they got out, but just because they had so much distance to run away, or there's so much area that they had to run away from, that it just matter of time. Like Team Happy Cloud knows they can win those team fights if they engage it, and they just charge at them.
Yeah, although I think that also had a little bit to do with the Tychus' poor pathing. He pathed incorrectly there. I'm not sure if you caught that. We do see Roomba doing a little bit of damage to the Mortal while they can. They are technically tied for people, but Anna's not in the fight, as Diablo going right into the Tychus as he uses Odin. Valkyrie coming in, only hitting the Muradin. Chen asleep in the back line. Vulnerability causing him to be asleep a little longer, as this is kind of a fights going all over the place. We do see Diablo doing his QRE combo on the Muradin. He's then going to turn on the URL. The reset city coming up from Li Ming is going to clean up the URL. Chen and Cassie going to finish off Raynor, as I think Anna's Anna's left in this fight and no longer alive. We do see Immortal also falling to the side of Team Happy Cloud.
These fights are all looking fairly similar, are they not? Do you find?
Yeah.
I guess this would be the time, even though they're still winning structurally, or they won't be shortly. This would be the time I ask, what can Roomba rotations do to change how this game has been going for the last 7 minutes or so? Post level 10, I should say.
I would really like them to have a coordinated fight, in the sense that like they engaged that fight a little too early. Anna wasn't quite there. A lot of the fights are being caught by the Valkyrie, by the by someone being out of position in the Diablo, like comboing them. I'd really like to see Roomba rotation start a fight with the Muradin, with the URL, and follow that up. We're seeing Team Happy Cloud to be a little bit on the defensive.
I find they're also spending resources on things like keeps, or the Immortal there, where Tychus popped Odin a bit early to get shots off on the Immortal, while there was still a 5v5, and I just don't see... I want them to save those resources as a reaction to when Happy Cloud dives them.
But we do see Muradin being pulled in by the Valkyrie. Diablo tried to combo mount. They're actually going to interrupt his jump, so he's going to be a little in trouble, but he pops his ultimate and walks away. Odin is now popped, as you said, just to clear this Immortal. You're all getting a nice stun on, I think, 4 people there. But this keep is going to go down, but they might be just worried that this could be a core push. We do see Odin getting a little overextend there. Diablo going to ER onto him, and he is going to go down just like that. That is level 20 on the side of Team Happy Cloud, with only level 18 on Roomba rotations. The Mortal trying to do core damage. It's going to go down very soon, but an ultimate from Diablo followed by a Q combo is going to be putting Muradin in a hairy situation. Now Q onto the core mid jump is going to finish him off. But now Chen is looking a little low, but so is URL. She's going to pop her ult. Anna going a little bit over far to try and heal her, but this is Roomba rotation's last stand, as Chen is doing damage directly to the core. Now Stukov is too. Chen turning on the Anna. I think, oh nope, a Stukov last minute heal is going to save his life. MJ Doom still alive, but with Cassia and Li Ming on the core and only one dead Chen, I do think this is game.
It looks like it, as both DPS are still alive and they're just chunking the core, so that is GG. Game 1, Roomba rotations versus Team Happy Cloud. Yeah. So, I'm gonna go to the stats scene right now and look at the stats. We have Raynor, actually. I was about to do a whole diatribe about how Raynor is low damage and he really weakens the team fight, a team's ability to team fight well, but he actually was top damage for his team by quite a margin, with Tychus quite a ways behind. But I felt like also Tychus was a major dive target, whereas they kind of let Raynor just do his thing and kind of just accept that he's going to be doing damage throughout the fight.
I think Tychus is kind of a weird character, where Tychus has not the longest range, so he wants to be fairly close, but he's actually extremely weak to dive at the same time. Like, he wants to just kind of be standing there close to you, auto-attacking. So I think like the fact that Team Happy Cloud was playing such an aggressive comp really was a detriment to Tychus, especially with the no peels and no CC to kind of keep him guarded and let him just auto-attack with his D all day to the Diablo.
I also think that honestly, Roomba rotations drafted a comp that's kind of like something Tiny Dances would draft. And and they looked a little uncomfortable. As actually we're going into our game 2 here. You can see it. Actually, you got pulled in. Quickly go back to the map and score screen. So I have to quickly update that because we were too busy talking about all of the stuff that just happened. So why don't you quickly go on about? I guess I'll just finish my point. Is like, do you think Roomba rotations looked uncomfortable because of the team comp or the way the team comp forced them to play, which is not their style when they want to be the aggressive team making the plays, making decisions?
I don't think it's actually a playstyle issue. I think you're putting a lot of emphasis on this. I think they just crafted a team that was somewhat countered by Team Happy Cloud. Team Happy Cloud, again, was happy to go in. Diablo gets lots of value on this map, but there's walls everywhere. And, Roomba rotations is a little weak to the dive. And Team Happy Clouds kind of exploited that heavily. I mean, that's obviously, sort of increased by the fact that they were finding a lot of split scenarios where Roomba rotation was taking unsafe routes to go different lanes, or were kind of split or not as a team when the fight started. I think they didn't respect the fact that they were so weak to dive, which might be where Roomba rotations made the mistake because they're used to be playing as the aggressor. But I really do think the first pick Ana was a mistake that kind of got super exploited.
All right. Game 2 here, we have Tomb of the Spider Queen picked by, as Brett Michaels puts it, the vacuum cleaners, Roomba rotations. As we see a 1-0 lead in this series. What do you think of this map? We don't see it a ton in Division A East, but
no.
What do you like considering how the first games went? And they seem pretty evenly matched teams. How do you like?
I think this is gonna kind of devolve into a team comp battle almost. Spider Queen is typically a very teamfight heavy map as it's such a small 3-lane map. Obviously, some ganking of the bot lane or who's double soaking can affect this. But it's kind of a weird map because the web weavers are actually fairly weak individually, although they come in 3 waves, and they're kind of good for, I find, either taking a keep or slowly damaging a wall. But they're not a very strong objective as they go. I think it's going to be very much depend on can you get a kill or two as web weavers come. And as I've sort of seen last game, both teams are very happy to fight. Team Happy Cloud, the first match, kind of dodged the fight, but then re-engaged it after we complimented them, just to prove us wrong. So I think there's just going to be a lot of team fights. I'm excited to watch this game, and I'm curious to see what Roomba rotations drafts in a response to Team Happy Cloud this time. Alright.
Sorry, just working on some back-end stuff here as we go into the draft screen.
You're telling me streaming's not just pressing one button?
No, it's not. Especially when you're inexperienced like me and constantly going, where was that again? What do I do?
You should just make a folder with all this stuff.
That seems way too organized for my liking. I like controlled chaos. That's my casting technique.
Well, once again, we see both team, or at least this time, Team Happy Cloud taking till the last second to get that first ban, which is the Joanna. I don't think we saw that Joanna ban the first game.
No.
Her popularity has kind of fallen off lately, ever since the meta switched more to a sustained damage meta than a burst meta. Garrosh once again being banned from the side of Roomba rotations. I think that was the first ban last time too. Again, very meta tank. There's not too many meta tanks left in rotation now. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see an ETC, a May, a Murden, or a Diablo once again. But they're actually going. I'm wondering if there's going to be a third tank ban. Noah's the Imperious, which is technically a tank for Roomba rotations as they often play it. But I think it's also a very much comfort pick as he can set up a lot of those engages, and he's a very aggressive tank. Gazlo, I think if you're a second pick, you have to ban the Gazlo, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say this is his best map, but he's just so overtuned that you don't really want to even look at it right now.
Why deal with it if you can avoid it entirely?
So quickly bring up some cool stats, because I can do that now. Joanna has a pick rate of 45%, ban rate of 19%, and a win rate of 52% so far this season.
Above average. Is that NGS wide?
That's Division A East stats, I believe.
Nice. So we do see Junkrat being the first pick for Team Happy Cloud. What do you think about Junkrat on this map?
I think if you are trying to prevent turn-ins, he's very useful because he has such great zone control, and he has decent wave clear with that, and far distance wave clear, which is nice. But you're gonna need some kind of carry because he doesn't offer a ton of damage himself.
We also see Gul'dan and Diablo being picked up for Roomba rotation. I really like the Diablo pick because it gives you a lot of control on that middle area for denying pushes and stuff. But now we see the Tychus and the ETC in response to this from Team Happy Cloud.
It seems that Tychus is becoming the insta-pick you pick when you see Diablo on the other team. Which is kind of what Tychus used to be for Garrosh, if you remember correctly. He used to be
I do.
He used to be the insta-pick, but he fell out of favor, maybe because he just wants to be so close to the Garrosh that Garrosh says, come hug me.
I think
and he can go bad real quick.
I think the press the advantage at level 1 talent change, it gives Tychus a bit of an increased range now at level 1, makes him a lot more viable in the current meta. So we are seeing that. But I am really liking the ETC with the Tychus more than the Burden with the Tychus, as the ETC QW combo can kind of put him more closer to Tychus's range and stun the Diablo for a little bit.
We also see Chen banned, who was fairly oppressive on the last map, but do you think he was a necessary ban considering Chen's lower wave clear? And considering how important Soul Lane has wave clear, your Soul Laner has wave clear on this map?
A little. I mean, if Roomba rotate, I find Chen very hard to deal with in team fights, and if Roomba rotation don't really have a counter to that character, it could be kind of like, banning a Samaru even if you could handle it. It's like, you're going to struggle against it. Why even bother leaving it up?
Yeah, I don't know why you'd ban Samaru, but it's up to you, I guess.
We do see a Diva ban from Team Happy Cloud as Brightwing is locked in.
And Blaze.
Oh, Blaze. What do you think of Blaze as an offlaner?
Offlaner, he's medium to low risk of getting ganked, which is important on this map because your offlaner holds a lot of gems typically. He offers more frontline, but he's also a bit of a high percentage health target for Tychus to shoot down.
Oh my, that is a lot of percent health damage coming in with the Malfield pick. And Anna, once again, getting picked on the side of Team Happy Cloud this time.
And they're going for the Nano Boost Malphael with the AoE ult, I believe, is what they're looking at there. And Malphael makes up for Junkrat's lack of damage in team fights, too.
Yeah, especially against a Diablo Blaze. They're going to have a very hard time staying alive, especially with that Malphael ult. Although I do feel like he's a little countered by the Brightwing, at least on the solo single target side of things.
Now, what do you think of the Cassia here with the double tank on top?
I don't like it. I think Gul'dan does a lot of AoE damage that can be healed up by the Ana. But I think Gul'dan often struggles to either finish off targets or do single target damage. And I really would have liked a more traditional hyper carry on the side of Roomba rotations, like a Vala almost. But I'm not opposed to it completely. Cassia does do quite a lot of good damage, and I'm interested to see where they take it.
I would have looked more for a hyper carry, like glass cannon type of character, because you already have Diablo and Blaze, and with the percentage of health on the side of Happy Cloud, you know they're going to be focusing the tanks anyways. So I would say, why not pick a character that can just rain in damage, like Vala.
Yeah. Although Cassia does provide very good follow-up if, for example, Brightwing W's the diving in Malphael or ETC. Especially with the ETC nerfs recently, he used to have 25 armor for a few seconds after he casted ability, now only having 20. That could be a valuable health that could be pierced off from the burst damage of Cassia.
Alright, not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm going to announce Roomba rotations as we get into this Game 2 of Division A East. Roomba rotations versus Team Happy Cloud. Roomba rotations starting off the Lazy Hydra on the Gul'dan, Idioms on the Diablo, Hiva on the Cassia, Iron on the Brightwing, and MJ Doom on the Blaze.
And over on the red side, we have Team Happy Cloud with Brett Michaels on the Malphael, Fade on the ETC, Tychus being played by Galaxy Quest, Junkrat by is that OJ Juice? And
Juice.
Delta played by Anna, or someone call her R275 Delta. If you want to be a proper caster.
So if you're gonna look, okay, all right. if you're gonna look at these two teams, we talked about them a bit in draft. But who do you favor right now?
I favor Team Happy Cloud as we see Diablo getting dived extremely with the anti-heals and the 2% health. I think Diablo's going to be dying really fast in fights. But I haven't really seen a lot of ETC ever since the nerf, so I'm interested to see if he actually dies first or not. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a tank killing war, or tank or bruiser killing war in this game. But I do like Team Happy Cloud's build a little better. But you can't underestimate the tons of CC that Roomba Rotations actually has.
I'm also going to double down and say that I think Roomba Rotations is going to be a lot more comfortable on the team comp they've created.
Yeah, I know you give a lot of credit to their aggression, and I do think that's correct. But I think there's also something to say about how easy it is to execute your team, and easy it is to execute Team Tom. I think last game we saw that it was very easy for Team Happy Cloud to execute their team comp strategy because it's literally just go forward, A-click. Woo! But this time, it's a lot more organized on the side of rotations of what to actually do. But we seem to see Diablo try to go in on the ETC, instead getting punished by the Tychus and Ana. Tychus waiting in a bush. It's going to force up the Brightwing teleport onto the Diablo.
I give a slight wave clear advantage in the 4-man to Roomba rotations. I'd like to see them try to pick less fights than they're picking and more just focus on the double rotate, throwing those waves to cool down.
There is a gank bot lane, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much as the camp does go on the side of Team Happy Cloud.
And
nice
they also
play
commit
there.
a lot of resources bottom as Tychus is alone in top lane.
This might cost them the race to 10. It's definitely going to cost them the race to 4. And if you notice, Diablo is the one forced retreat, so even though they have more people bot, they are actually losing the fight.
And we'll see how much XP they miss top. It's gonna be a few. It's gonna be a few globes. Not that many, but it was significant wall damage as well with a full wave top on towers.
Yeah. We do see the rotate coming up from bot to mid lane, a small gank going on from Roomba rotation. That's just gonna kind of force Team Happy Cloud out of the lane for a little bit.
Something I have seen a trend carrying over into this game too is Happy Cloud's really good at like dangling a little. Actually, Roomba rotations was actually doing this last game, but now it's happened bot lane there to two Roomba rotations. It's one team dangling a little bit like, oh, we're here, you know, you got to stay with us. Oh, we're close enough, you can almost engage us, and just kind of keeping them there while one team is getting a clearly more value from the posturing.
We do see ETC once again going on Diablo, and with that Tychus there, Diablo's health disappears so quickly. He's forced to tap, and I think he has the level 1 talent that it gives him increased taps because all his health will be back in a few seconds. But we do see the Junkrat bomb pushing the Cassia out. ETC is going to try and jump on her. She's going to almost die, but not quite. Blaze now coming for the bot lane with Malfail. Blaze doing a nice stun, and now he's actually going to be focusing on the ETC. A lot of slows coming out, but with that flame, with the being ignited, that's going to let ETC kind of go away. But a nice stun coming onto the Junkrat. He's going to get extremely low, but I don't think that's quite enough for him to fall, as both teams kind of just beat each other up. Definitely a lot more pressure coming out from the side Roomba rotation. I really like that team fight from them.
Both these teams going, what's the objective on this map? I think we just want to kill people. Because both teams not putting much priority into the double soak so far and more worried about securing kills and kind of putting map pressure that way.
But both teams are kind of built to revolve around the team killing. Like, you don't pick Diablo and not try to look for kills. Same with ETC.
That's fair. I think it's just interesting because often you do see such a focus on wave clear on this map where you often don't even see anyone even looking at each other, especially if the 4-mans get out of sync about what wave they're clearing.
Yeah. Although, as a side note, I'm actually really liking Blaze as more of a main tank than Diablo in this game, because Blaze is his stun is a lot less risky by where it places him, assuming he hits it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fights will look a lot more in favor of Roomba rotations once Blaze chose to fight more than Malfail.
So you're thinking like Blaze opens with a stun, and then Diablo can do his dunk and push based off
there's a lot
the
less pressure on that Diablo if the Blaze is there too.
Yeah, you never want to be delivering yourself to the Tychus, which is what Diablo does.
Yeah, and it's just like if they're using their stuff on Blaze, Diablo's going unchecked. And I think that's kind of what their team's a little built around.
We do see the medallion coming up from Tychus that's preventing the dunk in the
Malfail is going to be up here sooner before Blaze. He's going to kind of push off the backline as Diablo kind of uses him as a free escape. Blaze going in deep and kind of just using a stun to disengage. But while we are up for the side of Team Happy Cloud, bot lane is going unchecked against the wall as mid lane is where they are contesting. But that's a lot of damage on Gul'dan. I think he might die, and he does. Diablo being forced out of the wall. He's going to have to use his charge on a minion to get out. Trying to grab Tychus over the wall, but the wall just goes down as Cassie tries to go in with her E. ETC getting a nice stun as the Web Weaver bit goes down. That's going to be the end of the push for Team Happy Cloud.
Yeah, as I was talking about, these teams are really liking team fights right now, but that heavily favors the team with the Web Weavers. You want a split defense if you're defending the Web Weavers. You want someone in each lane collecting this soak, getting the gems even, and clearing the waves, and all 5 were mid there for an extended period of time.
Normally first Web Weavers, especially this early in the game, only take about a wall in each wave, if that. This one meant bot lane, if you look, is almost gone. So that's actually going to be a fairly weak hold for the side of Roomba rotations.
Yeah, and I think Team Happy Cloud's strategy was to bait a 5v5 mid and force other lanes to be ignored. Whereas if Roomba just let them push in, yes, it would have gotten a lot of middle for it, but the other 2 waves would have been much less damage.
Yes. And it's important to note that we also, I think Gul'dan got first blood against him mid lane. So on top of the damage, they also got a kill.
And that's their main wave clear, of course, as well.
So we do see Cassia getting a little overextended as she's going to go down before the Brightwing can teleport. I think they're actually the correct call is to let the Brightwing finish the teleport and kill him too. But I can't really contest them getting the free pick and the free kill that they did.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be bot lane with it too, and including the camp.
Up for the bot lane and the camp. And level 10s are coming online, and oh, I actually remembered this time, so I'm going to quickly talk about it. We do not see the other ult, which I'm forgetting, the AoE ult from Malthael. We see Last Rites to finish off kills. We see Riptire to be expected, Dance to be expected, Nano as expected, and Odin, which we're seeing a lot, and I think the Odin, like, half the reason to pick it is just to give yourself an unstoppable.
People don't know, when that Odin is building, you are unstoppable, and you can, like, not be stunned. So it is very good against the Diablo charge or the an Apocalypse from the Diablo if you can't get out of it.
We also see APOC, which is very typical. Emerald Wind, which we can also expect to kind of alleviate the dive. Horrify, which is one of the best ults in the game. Bunker, which is a great tool to nullify Malthael's Last Rites. As we do see Web Weavers coming over for Roomba rotations here to see how much value they get on their first Web Weaver.
I actually really don't like the Last Rites here. As we see Diablo using APOC to try and get a pick, but kind of misses. Last Rites will struggle against also the Brightwing W, produces a lot of the damage on the Last Rites, and it's very easy to hit because you see it for so long before it procs. Combined with the Bunker, I really don't like these Last Rites.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see the Nano AoE ult, because I feel like gets a ton of value, especially into like the frontline heavy team of Roomba rotations.
Yeah. And she did go Nano booster, I was checking to make sure. We do see Idiom taking a lot of damage. Brightwing's going to have to force teleport him and then ultimate ult to get away. But meanwhile, top is still going strong as they didn't actually finish the Web Weavers before they left. I think that actually might be top lane. No!
Oh.
Top lane survives with so little health. Wow.
Meanwhile, mid here, we do see a ton of damage coming out to Brett Michaels.
But Anna's going to get there in the nick of time to save it. But we have a 3-man dice. Oh, the Horrify is going to be almost enough to let the Gul'dan live. But we do have the Nano on the Malthael. He is going to be now on MJ Doom, as I think he is now dead, yes.
And that's a lot of gems cost there. That's 30 gems for the side of Roomba rotation. So that's a huge loss.
And on top of that, Team Happy Cloud doesn't have enough to do a turn-in, which I think they are doing currently.
So once again, we're seeing Roomba rotations
they're doing boss first.
Ooh.
That is a little bit of a risky call, especially this early in the game. Can they burn it that fast? Oh, they can. That boss is actually going down fairly fast. Blaze still has another 5 seconds before he's even up. Boss is at half health.
Roomba sniffs it out, and they may try to... They're not going to be able to get any position in time for this boss.
No, especially if Blaze just now hitting the first wall. We do have Diablo trying to do something, but just falling down himself.
And that's 15 gems again, right there.
Yeah. But he does have soul, so we will be right back up.
But this is going to be a boss turn-in, yeah. That's going to be all forts and maybe a keep top for Team Happy Cloud.
And now that Diablo doesn't have souls, that's going to be a lot more risky for these fights for Roomba rotations. Diablo, once again, trying to go on an ETC. ETC's going to barely manage to get away. But this boss is being shred fairly quickly by the Cassia on Roomba rotations. But with the Gul'dan being Junkrat bombed, and there's a nice tornado there to stop his retreat, that's going to be rough for him. Horrify coming out, and actually I think cleansing that Horrify from the Tychus. Junkrat Bomb coming out now. Finally, the Bunker is going down to try and save that Blaze. He's going to get out and walk away, but the fort is now gone. Boss is still going on unchecked. Now the Web Weaver has landed. Junkrat blowing himself right into the Diablo. Very risky. Oh, the boss's Q is kind of stopping the Diablo. That's going to be very rough for Idioms as he's getting slept and then blown up, but ETC is going to go down in exchange. That's 1-for-1 for the take, but that's kind of poor for Roomba rotations as there is 2 Web Weavers in mid and bot lane going on during this time.
Yeah, we see Roomba rotations continually to get sucked in and match wherever THC is, which that time they had to match top because of the boss and the Web Weaver. But these fights are happening for a long period of time and really kind of distracting them when clearing is their top priority.
I almost would have liked them to see have given top lane and then just cleared mid or bot or something like that and then rotate to top as it pushes towards keep. And maybe leave like a Gul'dan there to press E on the boss repeatedly.
Yeah, I really do favor a split defense, which we're not seeing from them in this game. But what do we know? We're the team that always bans fighting.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's why. We do see bottom fort almost going down as the camp bot lane is going to the side of Team Happy Cloud. Top lane for Team Happy Cloud, that fort is still alive. I kind of wish it is not. But both teams do not have turn-in. I think there's just going to be a lot of posturing here.
A lot of posturing. 16's coming online shortly for Team Happy Cloud, which is going to be a 1-level advantage and forcing Roomba rotations to be on the back foot for the next little while.
We do see something potentially happening bot lane here as there's a death bush forming looking for the MJ Doom, but Roomba rotation is going to sniff that out. They're going to get quite a little bit of damage onto Brett Michaels there before Team Happy Cloud just goes, no, we'll clear. But I think they're going to make a push for this bot fort here, or bot keep.
Alright, so less focusing on what's gone wrong so far this game. What can Roomba rotations do differently to turn this around?
I think you should answer this, Liddell, because I answered the last one.
Because I always ask this question, just get to sit there and go, they seem a little desperate at times. They seem a little shook, maybe by how the first game went for them. And they seem to, whenever Happy Cloud's like, let's have an engage, Roomba rotation's like, yes, let's. I'd like to see a bit more avoiding engages, and then really picking their spots when they have them. Because they've kind of awkwardly moved themselves up towards the fort, taking some siege damage, but then they're caught out, and THC's ability to track them down quickly over the course of both of these games has been, like, pretty much every time Roomba rotations has a large distance between them and their closest fort, THC has found a way to track them down. So I like them playing really safe, really conservative here, grouped up, because...
but they are separated from the Blaze and far away from their fort, and here is Team Happy Cloud.
Who's all over it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with all your points, although I do want to give credit to Team Happy Cloud for avoiding those Diablo stunts. Diablo has really able to set up a proper engage in quite a while. I think that's a lot of merit to Team Happy Cloud to deny that. But as I say that, Diablo getting a great engage onto the EC. He's going to get so low, but Pierce coming out. But ETC managed to get just far enough that it doesn't really matter. Boat comes up to deny the Malfail ult.
3 ults for 4, favoring Team Happy Cloud there.
Not enough burst on the ETC to kill him. I think the Horrify had to come up just a little bit sooner. Really unfortunate for Roomba rotations, as the Blaze is now getting jumped on with the dance. That might be him, but the Emerald Wind's coming in to save him, as now Malfail's the one looking in trouble. I think both teams kind of backing out here as they realize a lot of members are low, but we do see some fighting between Cassie and Tychus going there, but I think it's more just show than any kills.
This is maybe, from how these team fights are going, this is maybe where I would have liked to see, as we see Laser Hydra slightly picked out and stunned by the ETC and picked off by Team Happy Cloud.
Yeah, I was going to say, during the last fight before Laser Hydra got picked, there was a camp on the wall mid lane that entire time, as we see that has now fallen. So
yeah, I just, instead of a Cassie, I would have liked a heavy AA burn here, like Vala or someone of that ilk, because I see Malfail pushed up and I don't see enough damage burning him down, forcing him to retreat.
As we see Haiba getting a lot of damage taken to him, as Diablo is forced to go in on the Junkrat to kind of save the Cassia. And I think everyone actually lives here, which is very surprising. I thought someone was definitely going to die. We do see Web Weavers coming out for the side of Roomba rotations, though. They managed to take that turn in. With Gul'dan just coming out now.
this is just a status quo turn-in to really kind of keep the lanes paused, as Happy Cloud's taking a quick mini-map look and sees that they can take bottom keep with the Roomba rotations top lane.
Yeah, but Roomba could probably take top fort, finally. So it's about time that's been auto-attacked once by a Gul'dan or a minion. But I don't think they're going to get much else besides this. They might get wall top, but I don't see much else coming.
I think you want a team fight right now if you're a Roomba. You need a team fight right now. And
I agree, especially with how
looks like they're willing to give it to them.
Far. Yeah, EDC was very far there, but he's going to go on the cast and get a one-man dance. But Apocalypse coming out as Diablo goes full in on the Junkrat, but his combo's only enough to get him to half health as he's quickly healed up by the Ana. Nano going out on the Malthael. That's going to be very dangerous to Diablo as he's now by himself against the Malthael. That's not going to end well. Blaze going in to kind of stall the back line. But it's just him by himself as everyone's turned around on the Malthael. But Diablo managed to escape with just barely any health. But we'll see if that can be said for the same for Blaze as his jump is interrupted by the ETCW and Blaze does go down. But in exchange, they got top keep because no one left to go and save that.
That's very significant though, because even if they lost that team fight, they do have a win condition now. So if they wipe Team Happy Cloud, they can win through that. But it's also opening up level 20s for Team Happy Cloud soon, boss and turn-in. So unlikely, I would say, that they're able to survive this onslaught.
Yeah. Especially because the boss is crumbling so fast and Roomba rotation's now bought. I don't think Roomba has enough to turn in there. No, they do not. So this is going to be another boss turn-in. I think that's definitely going to be top keep and maybe the game here.
I think if you're THC, you really want this to be game. You don't want to leave an option for Roomba to wipe you and win the game.
Yeah. It is nice though that they have the camp going bot for the set Roomba rotations. That's definitely going to save them. But with 20s coming in for THC, it's going to be very rough.
Yeah, we'll see how they play this. So far, a good amount of clear coming out onto the boss as the Webweaver now joins it.
Yeah, no, top lane is definitely going to fall. And I don't really know how much single target damage they have to clear this very quickly. This might just be game. Boss at half health, Webweaver getting close to that. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. Both objectives are going down very fast. We see the nuke land from the Tychus ultimate. Malthael going after the Diablo, but I don't think much can be done there. I think this is mostly posturing and seeing if they can get a pick to go in that core and end the game. I kind of hope Team Happy Cloud kind of just rotates mid here. I think that is the play.
Yeah, getting all the keeps is the play because Roomba is doing a good job at not giving them enough to really pick a fight. Although even mid looks a bit risky now because you could die under this tower.
Yeah, keep in mind Roomba rotation is a little bit off from that level 20 point, but with the big wave bot coming in, I think that might be just enough for them to turn in. To get level 20, especially considering they're soaking 2 lanes at once now. That is enough. Both teams are level 20. And I think Team Happy Cloud knows this as they wisely back off. Liddell, you should take a quick look at those 20 talents.
Yeah, I was looking at them. So we have the level 20 upgrade from Ana on the Nano Boost, which is going to give healing on her Nano target, which is going to make Brett Michaels on the Malthael an absolute menace. We see the Blink coming out. Is that Blink? Bolt of the Storm, whatever, from ETC. I'm going to call it Blink because I'm a WoW player.
They're all... Yeah, well, I think that's a StarCraft thing. Is it not? Or is it both?
It could be both. It's definitely a mage thing in World of Warcraft. We see the upgraded big cannonballs. I was going to say big balls from Junkrat.
That's what they are.
Which just makes his Q bigger and hit for more damage, which is good on this map because it's more wave clear and the chaotic fights that they binge, it'll just pick up more passive damage. We see the revive from Malthael, so even if you kill him, he has 1 revive, which is going to make you even less likely to want to target him in fights, because if you kill him, he's going to come right back. Horrify upgrade, which lowers armor, I believe. Instead of the Demonic Circle, which is like your insta-save back to core, which is I think is good because honestly the backline hasn't been threatened too much in these team fights for Roomba rotations. Tons of Emerald Winds coming out now on a low cooldown, and the Blink from Diablo.
Yeah. We do see the engage going on. Diablo getting a nice combo, but both of Horrified was going at the same time. I think there's a little bit of redundancy, but EDC is Horrified into the keep. That is going to get him going down. Diablo is now deep as Red Michaels is nanoed. He is going to be getting that extra healing as we saw. His health bar is kind of going very much up and down, but as Eobus does run out, as Blaze is able to distract the other 3 members of Team Happy Cloud, forcing them back. That is going to be a 2 for none, but keep in mind Malthael is coming right back, and there is 3 catapults on Roomba Rotation's core. I think that actually is going to do some core damage if it's not taken care of. Definitely it's not going to win. But...
MVP catapult there, interrupting the idioms on the turn in.
Yeah, and that is going to be a free 8% for Team Happy Cloud as they get bot camp.
Now, do you like that turn-in timing? They're going to go for win here, I believe, which is the worry of what Team Happy Cloud not finishing there when they had the boss and the web weavers is because now you have an opportunity for a win condition top, which a single team fight win could bring you here.
Yeah, but I think with the fact that they have bot camp going bottom, which is going to be more than enough to both clear and push bot, if they force a team fight up here early, Brightwing's going to have to teleport up, and all 5 members of Team Happy Cloud are up. Of course, Malthael is not going to have that revive up for the next little while.
And if he dies, it's actually a really long cooldown.
Yeah, so this is a game-changing fight, but the nano is up, and that's going to give
and web weavers just getting rushed.
Wow, that is a...
That window of winning there closed quickly as there's a counterattack coming out.
But we do see the idioms going in very deep as ETC is once again feared into the backline. He's going to be very low. He is going down. They're isolating the ETC extremely well in these fights as now Brett Michaels unable to get his Q on anyone. Diablo's going to do a nice combo of him, forcing the ult to try and peel for Malthael. He is forced to go in even deeper to try and get that, but his ult this time will get Diablo.
But it's a 4-second cooldown.
Diablo, yeah. He's going to be up right away, and now Malthael with his extra 20% or 25% death timer from that talent. Junkrat doing his best to stall, but that bomb is going to thrust him right to mid lane. I don't know if this is quite win yet for Roomba Rotation, but it's looking very likely as it's only 3 members here and Diablo is getting close. I think that is what Roomba Rotations are waiting for. A nice lead coming out onto the Gul'dan and Brightwing are going to stall them a little more.
They
15 seconds on the EPC.
It's boss. They're going for boss though.
Yeah, I think that's a very good call.
And THC can't do anything about it.
No.
So the overarching theme, what I'm seeing in this game, Silver, is teams when they should be defending, letting themselves get drawn into fights. Like why did THC let them get themselves in a fight there? Roomba Rotations was leaving, and they saw that opportunity for weakness, but really they had a 4-structure lead at that point. Is this a bum rush core? Are we gonna get a core race here?
It's looking highly likely now.
No, they're back.
Okay. That 8% earlier might have come into big play right then. They are, I think, pushing out the lane very heavily to force Diablo to come back and stop those catapults, as 3 catapults can be extremely deadly to core. So this is actually going to be a 4v5 with the Odin popping down right away for Team Happy Cloud. Malthael just going in to try and stall the backline as the entire rest of THC is doing that nice damage to the boss. It's going down rapidly, but I think boss will be doing some damage to the core, especially as Brett Michaels falls to the last of the stalling, but he is right back with that revive. It is up again. But boss doing quite a lot of damage to core. It's already at almost 50%. Oh, there it goes. With Gul'dan very low and Diablo going in, I think this might be it for Team Happy Cloud. But a nice ETC dance coming on to 3 members of Roomba Rotations. That's going to be Gul'dan going down with Cassia to follow. That's all their DPS, with Blaze trying to kill the Malthael. I don't think he does enough damage. Ooh, with a nice W dodge on the E. And Brightwing barely managed to live.
Winions.
Never mind.
Winions.
Winions says,
Winions.
Screw you, Roomba. Brightwing using his W on the catapult, I think will not quite be enough, but that is game.
Winions.
That's a 2-0 domination for Team Happy Cloud.
That, oh my god, I almost need to rewatch that last like 10 minutes there because it was just non-stop.
Yeah,
it was non-stop. Neither team wanting to win. That's what I was describing as.
But Winions is the MVP. They want to win, Liddell.
Yeah.
They are the people who.
In a game which both teams want the team fight, it was the macro Winions that ended it all. So.
Yeah.
quickly looking at the stats screen here, as I'll reach out to
Team Happy Cloud.
Team Happy Cloud.
Tell me when and I'll
My mind is
to.
just kind of breaking, as if it doesn't know where the hell to find people in NGS. So I figured it out. My mind put it together.
I'm glad you did it.
Anything surprising from those stats, Silver?
Nothing super surprising. I think people are starting to realize Brightwing's viability currently in the current meta, as we see him actually out healing the Ana and heals, although some of that heals is not always needed. A lot of casual healing from Brightwing. But that was a very entertaining game to watch. Cassia actually out damaging the Gul'dan. We were kind of saying that with Roomba rotation needed a more hyper carry character rather than Cassia, but clearly she's been pulling her weight. Although Tychus this time, contrast to last game, the one with the top damage, having a lot of front line to let him just sort of sit back and do damage, I think really does benefit the character. I think he's a character who needs a strong front line, and we really did see that from rotations last game, but we do this game from Team Happy Cloud.
Alright, we are set for an interview in Lobby 1. Next game series. Alright, we are joined by Brett Michaels, and I'm not sure the other character name here because the Discord name is a bit different, but
it's OJ.
It's OJ and Brett Michaels, coming off a 2-0 domination over Roomba rotations in Division A East. Congratulations on your win.
Thanks, buddy.
Alright, so first map we see Battlefield of Eternity, which I believe, you guys picked. What do you like about that map, and was it specifically a counter to Roomba rotations, or just a map you guys like to play a lot?
I think we like BOE quite a bit. I think we're a pretty brawly team, and I think that's it's a good fitting map for us, and it gives a lot of I don't know. I think we just play it well, so we like that one. Plus, it's just fun. Good map.
It is a heavy team fight map. There's a lot. You can't get away from not having a team fight on that map.
And what I'm curious about in the drafting phase, they actually first picked that Ana. Was that to screw with you guys? Did you guys take advantage with that dive team, seeing that Ana so early in the draft?
I mean, you first pick out, you kind of open yourself up for that sort of thing. So yeah, I think it just kind of worked in our favor that we were able to execute on a dive comp like that. I don't know. What do you think, OJ?
Yeah, I think it really did open them up to a lot of dive, especially when you see Ana first pick. It's like, come on, man, come on. We can pick her into that really hard. So, and we're a team that's really confident in brawling. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, and also in that first game, the last question I have is: were you ever worried in that first game? Because if you looked, the beginning started off not very strong. They took both forts without dropping. I think only dropping a single kill. But you guys worked your way back.
I think in that one we were just all right, we play for 10s because we've got Chen, and Chen doesn't really do all that much until 10. I mean, then Diablo and stuff. So I think our 10s were a little bit more impactful.
Yeah, with the Chen activated our team to dive right into the back really easily. It made it a lot easier to jump back there, especially with Valkyrie 2 as well, being able to pull people in whenever we really wanted to. We could just fight whenever.
Especially with Tychus and Reyna not being able to put any AoE damage onto Chen's clones, so they kind of got to do whatever they wanted. Also.
Yeah, plus Chen can evade auto attacks, so that's a pretty nice thing to do.
Yeah. I also have to compliment the dirty combos of the Valkyrie into Diablo stuns, but I think we should.
That's all our tank. That has nothing to do with the Valkyrie. Our biggest props to Fade, seriously.
Alyssa, the shoutouts are at the end, but let's move on to game 2.
I can't help it. I just gotta shout out my team whenever I can.
Game 2, which was I have as a Roomba rotation pick, but did I write that wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay.
As a Roomba pick.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, also a pretty small, brawl-heavy map. They kind of stole some of your picks with the Cassia and the Diablo, and you kind of stole some of their picks with the Tychus counter. was that just you guys being jealous of what the other team had, or do you prefer ETC on that map to Diablo?
I mean, I think if you have a good ETC player, playing Diablo into ETC is just really awful. Like there was a couple times. I mean, I'm in bot lane. So I'm not really paying any attention to what's going on. But there's a couple times I saw it just like, oh, you don't have an engage anymore. Sorry, you just got W'd out of that.
Yeah, speaking as a Diablo player, yes, I agree. As the tank, yes. Yeah, and I think you also took the Ana too. So do you guys think just a small touch on that? Do you think the champion pool right now is a little on the smaller side? Because we saw like this almost the same bans. You know, D.Va has to get banned, Gazelle has to get banned. Tychus, Ana, Diablo were picked both games. Like there's a lot of consistency in that. Have you been finding the champion pool of what's meta a little smaller these days?
I mean, no, it's not as bad as it was like early last season, where it's literally just like you just played Joe and Urel and like Cassia and Tassadar.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it.
Yep, that was it.
I remember first ban meta of second player's bans are already gone.
Yeah, it was honestly I think the balance is actually in a pretty good spot right now. I think there's a couple things you need to kind of worry about. But
yeah, Gazlo is a little touchy
numbers.
these days.
I mean, he just got overbuffed in numbers.
Yeah, no, I agree. Not as kid, just he needs a little tune.
Alright, finishing out game 2, you guys looked fairly in control up until the last 7 minutes or so, and then it was a team wipe fest going back and forth for a little while. Were you guys ever worried? Or are you willing to say you were worried in this game at any point? Or
never worried. No, that one was definitely became a little more tense. I think something we've been working on as a team, and I think it's coming along pretty well, is like we are a really aggressive team, and like I think like if you look at like stats of the Storm, I don't know if you guys look at that, but like we are getting like the top of like kills and or like almost top kills, top takedowns, that sort of thing, but we're not, it's not leading to any results. I mean, we're kind of sitting in like 5th place, 4th place area. So I think a lot of that's just...
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, I think after tonight's win, you are, I think, 3rd. I want to say.
So tied for 1st.
Yeah, you're tied for 1st, but with a game over on 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But yeah.
So anyway, continue about your lack of results.
So I think something we've noticed is that we're just getting a little overconfident in late game. Like we're winning early and we should just slow down a lot. And I think this team was really good at punishing that. And they totally, took us to I don't know, it was a 40% core or something like that.
The hardest part was just chilling out towards the end there, where we're just like, we have to play this slow. We have to play this slow. We have to. And I was freaking me out. But yeah, we were doing it.
There was definitely a few fights where you guys took like over no real objective or under fort, which me and Liddell definitely questioned a little bit. But Roomba rotation was doing the exact same thing.
I think our comment is both you and Roomba are kind of similar teams in playstyle, and whenever one of you wanted the fight, the other team was like, sure. Like both teams were always super down to fight, which made it a very fun series to cast, though, because there was tons of team fights and constant action.
Fighting solid. Yeah, so I think it's just something we got to work on, and I think it's.
Yeah. And then, last but not least, let's talk about the rankings. I'm not sure you've heard about the big news today about the schedules and stuff, but Carol's Badgers has withdrawn.
Oh, I thought the big news was we still have to play our flex matches.
That too. But I'm not the mod, so who cares?
That's unfortunate. Well, that's Breakwood's team, so she's doing CCL stuff. So good for her. That's sweet.
So, but anyway, but that also is a benefit because it changes the leaderboard completely. So, do you guys care about that stuff? Are you following? Like again, now you're tied for 1st.
We're obviously the best team in the division.
Right. No one you're scared of?
No.
Never.
Looks at notes. I think we beat you.
That's true. You did.
Hey, we're still not scared.
Probably did deserve it, but
no, I never games if I recall.
No, I think that's something that you guys even did, that you punished like our late game, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think we have what it takes to be the #1 Div A champions this season. We came close last. I think we got eliminated in the Div A East finals.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I think Caffeinated Knights are a strong team. Beef Boys, strong team.
Yeah.
I think it's. I mean, everyone's really close in.
Yeah, it's insanely close.
There's a
division.
3-point difference from first to 9.
So
or
only
4
time will
points.
tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So-
thanks for the interview. Any last
Thanks,
shout outs before we end the stream?
Keep in mind, you've already shouted out your tank.
Shout out to our tank again. Did you see that last Mosh he hit? That was ridiculous.
It was very good.
Anyway, shout out to Roomba, a really great team. Glad we got to duke it out. It's always fun. Shout out to, I mean, I don't know. I'll let OJ do the shouts. I don't do shout outs.
Hey, I'm shouting out, yeah, especially Roomba. That was a really fun set. And my whole team is just so awesome to play with. I love you guys. Britt Michaels, you're awesome. Fade, you're awesome. Delta, Galaxy, love you guys. Yeah. But yeah, y'all are all awesome. Thank you.
And thanks to the cast. It's always great to get like a last minute cast pickup. We were not expecting that, so appreciate that. Coming strong.
Yeah, no, it's haven't done a ton of live streams so far this season, but there was definitely a fun match to do it for. So thanks for providing the content.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night, y'all.
All right, good night.
Take care.
All right, well, that was another episode of Canadian